Hi, everyone. It's Michelle Wahlmark with Movement Mortgage, and I'm here with another Coping with Corona episode. Today, my guest is Chris Stager from Century 21 Pinnacle. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you today?
Good.
Good. Thank you so much for taking some time to sit with me here today. And actually, Chris and I met on social media. Chris has a huge presence on social media, and actually, that's why I have him here today to just kind of give us some information and some input on perhaps, what he does or how does he get that? Because I do know he has a ton of followers. So Chris, if you can, elaborate on that a little bit.
Sure. Yes, the social media, it's kind of a job, aside from the real estate, but it's something that I probably spend pretty close to 3 hours a day on. And it's not just because I like to look at things and on social media, but I use it as a business. So, we had talked before, and I'd say probably 80% of my business comes from social media. So, whether it's, if I go through every transaction that I've done and I trace it back to where it originated from, it's pretty much going to be social media at some level. So whether that's new clients, past clients, referrals, it all comes from that. So, like I said, I use it as a job. I don't think you can spend too much time on it, but for me right now, I have content that if I didn't do anything, I have content for about 30 days that I've created and waiting to put out. I don't want to put it all out at one time because, it's too much. So try to do as much as I can within the day. But
Well, that's great. Now, I also I noticed too, a lot of times you have some more luxury home listings, things like that. I'm sure the social media helps, especially being close with perhaps New York or Philadelphia. Is that correct?
it does. The social media is the biggest part of what helps it get sold. Not just for, the ads that we do and so forth on social media, but just the other agents. Being able to connect with so many agents through social media. It's funny when we, it kind of gets a little off topic, but when we came back to work, I didn't realize how many real estate agents were actually in my social media channels, because every single thing that went through my feed was, we're back to work, we're back to work, we're back to work. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's so many realtors on these pages. So that's where it helps, where I can reach somebody, especially with a luxury listing, across the country, or, down in Florida or Massachusetts or wherever it may be. They may have a client wanting to move either close to Philadelphia, here in the Lehigh Valley, or somewhere here that they see those homes. So it definitely helps.
I could imagine, and it does. You don't realize how much and how far your social media presence can go. It really sometimes it blows my mind. It makes the world feel a lot smaller than it actually is. But that's great,
Sure.
especially for those luxury listings, because those are usually a little unique.
Absolutely.
Now, how was everything going, while in Corona? Because I know we've only been back, I think maybe 2-3 days now. Did you use a lot of social media or a lot of Zoom calls with your clients as well?
Yeah, we've done, like I said, the last 2 days, we've had 4 buyer consultations through Zoom. We have a listing one coming tomorrow, listing presentation right through Zoom, primarily because they're not in town. So we're going to be able to do that. And then once they get back, we'll visit the home, et cetera, and do that. So it's really helped. And, we have mutual clients who I did a buyer consultation, sent them to you, and I have yet to physically meet them, as you as well. So
Right.
and they're all set up, ready to go. And it all happened through Zoom.
Wow.
So one
Yeah,
thing,
I think it definitely made us take a look at things a little bit differently. But the one thing also too, Chris, that I enjoy with your social media is you're also you're yourself. And I love all the positivity, and I think that helps too. I bet a lot of people gravitate towards that. And that's probably why you have so many followers too. I really enjoy your social media posts.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well,
You
thank you.
know, the Thursday stuff, for instance, I've tried to
Yes,
keep that every day, not just on Thursday, because there's been so much negativity. You know, I haven't watched the news in 2 months because they just don't want to.
right.
I don't want to bring that, that negative, and it's not all negative, but a lot of it is. I don't want to bring that negative energy because it's distracting. So it just doesn't. So I try to put as much positive stuff out there, especially for the agents who, just don't know what they're going to do. Not working for 2 months. Those sort of things.
You're right. And I think that's why, first of all, why I, saw your post and gravitated towards them. Sometimes too, especially with going with all of this, because I still think we're going to have a little bit of a roller coaster, some up and down days. And I think it's just sometimes nice to just read the positivity or hear you and hear your energy. So I think all of that is great, but your social media is wonderful, and I've loved it.
Thank you. And it's funny with the social media. So since we were on, I don't want to say lockdown is the wrong word, but a stay at home, we've done a lot of things. I mean, Century 21 as a company, from the leaders, Mike Mealer all the way down, we've had virtual classes 3 to 6 times a day, every single day since this has started. And we're continuing that. We have upwards to 5 a day that we can get on. We've had Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini live. I mean, we've had everybody live to talk with us, and we've had a couple 100,000 people on those calls every day.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It
and
truly
they
is.
really did a good job with keeping it positive, helping us with our 100-day plans. I mean, all kinds of things that we've done.
Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate your time today, and I'm definitely going to have you back in a few weeks to just see how things might have changed now that we are back to work, not back to normal, but back to work. But thanks so much, Chris. Again, Chris Stager from Century 21 Pinnacle, and have a great day, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.